3, 2, 1.
I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby. Waking up inside of you, baby. I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby.
Welcome back, Powerheads. Here we go again. Oh, APB bulletin was out. Looks like it did the job. We rescued him from Merkovich. We got him back. No longer Waldo. Is E-Dot.
On vacation last week. I'm sorry, fellas.
It's okay. Hey, man, I heard you had some fun in the sun.
Definitely did. Miami was a blast last weekend.
Coming back looking like the Rock Lobster. I got to tell you, man, you should really use the stuff with the sunblock on it and not butter. Moving forward. All right, fellas, we back into it with episode 6 of Force. PowerBook 4. So here we go with the PowerWatch. Man, we already starting off digging holes and whatnot. And surprisingly enough, it's Claudette digging alongside Tommy, but I guess she didn't really have a choice, did she?
No, she didn't have much of a choice because, pun completely intended, she stabbed somebody in the back. So she had to go ahead and dig her first hole.
There you go.
She definitely looked like a rookie.
And we completely ripped apart the anatomy of her really stabbing her, where she would be able to kill her from that point of angle. But it is what it is. It's another what?
Powerism.
So meanwhile, we going from burying to funerals, where we're about to bury somebody, and we're at Elijah's funeral. And of course, who is there hating?
Diamond's brother, as always.
And he's like, for that white boy, the white boy supposed to be a fine box, blah, 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 blah. So he's like always in his ear. And you got to kind of like understand both sides of this guy. I mean, he did kind of, I don't know how he did it, but supposedly he held it down for 15 years while Diamond was inside. So, I guess he gets some kind of credit for that. And for having some dude swoop in and take all the glory is kind of rough.
But I mean, at the same time, he quote unquote held it down, but they weren't in any better of a position after he did 15 years than they were before he went away. So
how do we know that?
Because they still ain't taking over the city.
There you go. Okay, so goals. Yeah, they sure shouldn't move on that one now. So now we're over to Simon's funeral and find out some interesting stuff while we're there. Of course, Vic's a little choked up. He's not letting it show, of course. Claudette's about to come over and talk to him, but old man Flynn is like, nah, let me do this. And he goes to talk to him. And of course, he's full of joy and support for his son, right?
Oh, of course. 100%. He just loves everything about his son right now.
You're responsible. You knew him since the 3rd grade. You should try to do stuff on your own. You should have never strayed from me.
Oh, yeah. Old man Flynn is definitely, as Force has been going on, he's just rapidly deteriorating. He's getting more and more angry because I think he knows that, his time's coming to an end. And realistically, he's got nobody to hand it off to.
He's a little bit of a racist as well. So,
a little bit?
Yeah, just a little. He only has like a pointy hat, but not the full cone.
Oh, okay. So he just lights tiki torches on fire, not crosses. Okay, cool. I get it.
Yeah, got to downsize a little bit. It's the modern era and all that. This is the part that I really don't understand. And they kind of justified it on some heat shit. But basically, everybody gets together and votes Tommy out. And what are they really voting him out of?
Well, I mean, out of the Coke game with them. Because remember, they'd all come together last episode and was putting up, distro 33, 33, 34. Yep. So with 34 going to CBI. So, they had come to that conclusion already. And so they were basically saying, hey, we're just going to go ahead and cut you out because you're bad for business.
What does that mean? That he can't use the pipeline or he can't use the pipeline for code? Or what does that mean?
I think it was he can't use the pipeline, period. That's why they bought all the rest of his weight off of.
That is crazy.
Which is the 10 keys. So you only got 2 options when you're in this kind of game. Look, man, you take the buyout or you take a bullet. They both going to start with a B, but at least one of them is still alive.
I don't know. You could take a bullet like Liliana did.
She got hit in the shoulder. It was like in the trap. She'd be all right.
Yeah, she'd be all right. But your boy was just like, all right. So 38 a key. And then, of course, Jannard is like, you crazy, man, 30. But Diamond is like, he's the, the guy who's like a little bit of a diplomat. And he says, no, we'll stick to what your price is. So when Tommy rolls out, then they're having a conversation. Vic is like, So we cool? And he's like, as long as your snow don't blow down south, we're good. So they still talk about that division within the city.
They're not worried about him doing anything, in the city. I mean, they took him out of that deal, as we're going to see here in a little bit. I think he's got something working that's going to be even better. So I'm not really too worried for Tommy right now. I think it was a smart move for him in the end anyways.
All right. So speaking of smart moves, it's time to parlay. So you got Tommy up there and he's talking over with Liliana. And wait a minute, it's about that time. I'm not sure if you even have anything. And I know like Visa always has something. Is it time for a clink?
You know it.
Notice the wonderful octopus with the margarita.
There you go.
And because I got a margarita, you know who made this, right?
Brenda.
Yeah.
Heyo.
Moving forward, he's talking to Liliana and he always is acting like, yeah, we're finished. Knowing that she's going to be like, what? The money train is going and you're the driver. So I'm going to put my 50% in with Joe 50%. And then he gives a little rainy day money on the side. So that was pretty tight. So then they go ahead and he talks to Claudia and he's breaking the news down to her about how they're going to distribute. This sounds very familiar, but not quite near as intelligently. Tariq and Braden, like they did it with the holographic 3D locker joints, but these guys are just doing it straight in the wide open. So that's the plan. And she's like, that's ghetto. And she doesn't say ghetto, but you know what she's saying. She's saying ghetto. And he's like, nah, this is at the convention center. Who goes to conventions? People with throwaway money. And it's like, these are socialites, housewives, and all these other folks, they're going to be down for it. And then she's like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, what's going on is while she's busy meeting with Tommy, Flynn is getting harassed by the special agents.
By the FBI.
Kayla and Vargas. And they're sweating him. And at first I was like, oh no. So whatever illness he has already got messed to the brain because he can't remember the password. But in reality, he can't remember the password because he never knew the password.
Exactly. He never knew the password to begin with. He was just typing stuff in. That's why, because that's why she showed up and typed in the password real quick. And was like, oh, here's all the information you need.
And where have you been? This is why you can't be part of the family running business. All this. That was a horrible accent. That was definitely not Irish. But I got my Irish with you. And stuff like that later on. Because when they throw that you out there, I'm thinking of watching, what's his name? Paul McCartney from back in the day with the Beatles, man. He was like killing that shit. You'll never be. I was like, okay, dude.
Little does he know, his daughter's setting up a whole damn distro pipeline that's about to set it off.
Right under his nose.
Right under his nose. Has no clue.
None. Yep. And she's getting more gangster by the minute. How many bodies? She got like some bodies coming up. Meanwhile, it's back to Jannar and Diamond again. They arguing again. And your boy is like, I know you got a soft spot for white boys. And I'm like, that sounds ominous. Like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, right. That was a weird.
Yeah, so obviously we got something coming up. So then you got to worry, like maybe Diamond spent too much time in the jail. But maybe not. And we'll get into that in a minute. Basically what's happening is your boy Jannar is still plotting, playing, and scheming. And he pulls up on your boy D-Mac. And he's like, yo, I want you to follow Tommy around. Here's a nickel. Now, back in my day, a nickel bag was $5 worth of herb and it fit in a little tiny envelope. I never did it, of course. This is only observation.
Purely academic.
So observational. I just try to keep aware of things that were around me so I knew what to watch out for. But
popular culture.
That's raw. So that was what a nickel bag was, $5. And he's like, I'm gonna throw you this nickel. And I'm like, $5K? What? And then D-Mac turns it down at first. And he's like, oh man, you gotta give me $10K at least for a body. And he's like, no. I'm not trying to do that yet. Just follow him around. So we're gonna get back into that later. So there's a lot of bombs just dropping here and there. And some of them they fill in this episode, but some of them they don't. All right. So then you got your boy Tommy, and he's out there with Claudia. Everybody's agreed. But before that even happened, we got to talk about the conversation where he was like, well, we got Liliana coming in. She took a bullet for me. She's down for day one. She's a soldier. She's not distro. She's going to do what we need to do. Claudia gets a little nervous at this point, doesn't she?
She doesn't have a partner. And the one person that she's trying to bring in Tommy's saying hell no to.
Right.
So at the end of the day, now she knows she's 2 against 1. If something, goes down, she can easily get ousted.
But see,
it's not 50-50.
and this is the part that's wild. She was obviously desperate because she doesn't even know this dude. They used to party back in the day, but she doesn't know this dude. And we'll find out more about that later. Your boy Tommy playing, and he's in the suits, and he's playing because she said, "You're a New York drug dealer look." And he's like, fuck you know about me. And he's busting out of the suit. But of course, rather than play it low key, maybe have some Brooks Brothers something on, or maybe even up toward Armani or something like that. He's got this thing with the Wolverine slashes in the back and the front. Swing, 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 swing. I'm like, Logan, Weapon X just took to your suit like too much. And he's like, I'm fly. Like, no, you're not. Just
the suit was trash.
It was garbage.
The suit was trash.
Remember the little pin that he had on the back of his sweaters and shit?
Yeah.
Oh, this is for autographs. Nah.
Suit was horrible.
Yeah, and of course Claudia liked it because she's a fashion statement in and of herself. Remember them Elton John glasses she was rocking last week?
But she's always dressed pretty well though. I mean, you gotta understand, it's like these people dress so weird nowadays. I can't keep up with what fashion is no more. I remember when it was a blazer, a shirt, and some jeans, and some dress shoes, and you go just about anywhere. Now I gotta have slits in my blazer sleeves, and I gotta button my shirt all the way up with no tie on. It's
Air conditioning by Wolverine. Yeah, I still ain't getting it. All right, but then so she's like, I hope a lot more rubbed off of your old business partner from New York, and he's like, he used to rock these suits all the time. He said, I hope some of that rubbed off too. Tearjerker moment with the Ghost. Yeah.
I know, yeah. But Ghost could get away with a suit like that, though. Tommy can't.
Ghost cannot get away with a suit like that, and Ghost would never wear a suit like that.
But Ghost could have gotten away with it had he tried it.
He would never try it. This is like...
He could try it, though. He could get away with it.
This is too big of a what-if episode. Because it's like, what if Ghost started wearing clown shoes and a red note? Then he wouldn't be Ghost. You boys got the fly style at all times. Even when he's going to kill people. He put on his little black barista hat, but he had the fly vest on and stuff like that. So I was not feeling the black barista hat because I was like, man, I was having an espresso. Outside of that, he was slick to go. You know what I'm saying? Choking out folks and killing them. So then, they just bust on Tommy and his knowledge of the world where he thought he was busting on Claudette. You're always in the back of Daddy's car. And
she said she backpacked across Europe. She definitely, but it's Europe. Yeah, it's fine. It's,
Yeah, but then he's like, what, the monorail? That ain't not the monorail. We're out that far. And then your girl Lillian is like, that's the Disney World stuff. It's like it's a small world. Jesus Christ. They go ahead and scope the joint, man, and everything's working like clockwork. Now, and Liliana scoping it all out. She's like flying under the radar like always. And I don't know how she does it. Well, maybe because she's hot even with the patchwork there. Just gotta let that slide. Just gotta put that out there.
Shut up,
dude.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Your girl, Lily, she's running the route. Do you remember the route? Whose route it used to be? Rojas.
Okay, the Rojas route, yeah.
Yeah, so she rolls to Mrs. Soto and she drops the envelope off. She goes to Manny, the old Hasidic Jewish guy, and she drops the envelope off. And Claudia's like, well, what about Reggie? And then he's like, is Reggie a hitter? Because these dudes are hitters. And then he pulls a little move on her. And she's like, well, how did you know I was a hitter? It's 15 seconds, I could tell. And she's like, how long did it take with me? He's like, 10 seconds. And then so she's like, ooh, swing. So she's feeling that statement.
I don't know if Tommy knows this or not, but I think he's barking up the wrong tree.
I don't think so. I think she swings both ways.
I don't know. We'll see.
Don't get caught up in the rib action. The ribs are gone. They're off the menu. But now Tommy's up to bat. No batteries included and no strings attached. Lily's making her moves and she's like, she can blend in everywhere. Blending in with the Hasidic guys and she's making a little comment. She already knew what the ingredients were of their delicacies and whatnot, but she just threw that out there so he could feel superior, so she can kind of buy him in. I thought that was my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it was all a play.
When she went to Mrs. Soto, she's like, I gotta come hard with these dudes. So she's like, fuck your mother. And I was like, oh, okay. So Mrs. Soto liked her spunk and whatnot. So everybody goes there to the lockers and they look around. Oh my God, Mrs. Soto's looking nervous. Manny's just like, I own the world. Like, this is nothing. They are smart, though. Everybody opens up their package, the little bag. They open it up inside the locker. Cameras can't see in there. Except for the ones that Tommy placed inside.
That's his high-tech part. You know, they was trying to be like Braden again.
There you go. Can't do it. But, you know, it's better than nothing. Meanwhile, it's like time. Everybody's got their networks together, strung up. So it's time to get the cook. So they rail up on Dr. Lauren Williams. And they come up on her, you know, she got the short blonde curly afro. And she's like, I thought I'd never see you guys again. And I'm like, why? You must no good news must get around fast, like the fact that Maya's dead.
They didn't need Maya for anything. She wanted to cook, even if she tried to lie and say she was. And she's gonna snitch on the whole operation anyway. So they didn't need Maya. I mean, a useless character at that point. About time she went.
But in the meantime, it's wild how they had planned to cut her out since the beginning. And not just Claudia, not just Tommy. Because Tommy was trying to break down the compound. And then while that's going on there, Claudette tells Tommy, you just got to do me a favor and Jack Bobito while he's in the toilet, you know, and get basically the drums that they had already. So, you know, so they got a little supply to tease people with and whatnot. Meanwhile, your boy Diamond is making his rounds around the city. And he goes to Slick Eddie's, where your boy Rick is ready with some comments. And he goes up there, somebody's sitting in his section. He's like, you're in my seat. And then she's like a little cutie, little thickie. Coach Sonny listening on him, and he was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, you falling a little too fast, bro. You know what I mean? Because this could be a cop. This could be a rival gang member, whatever. Next thing you know, before Rick gets his word in, because he says, Diamond says, Rick stole my mother's potato recipe. And your boy Rick is like, oh no, I didn't steal it. I gave her a little something else. And I could have been your granddaddy. And then, so that was their time, their clue to bounce before Diamond knocks him into the third row. And
exactly.
Yeah. So they go home and smash. Good sex scene.
I thought she was a cop at first, but a sex scene that quick with an undercover cop, it doesn't seem believable. So I don't know who she works for, but I don't think she's a cop.
I'm gonna throw the bone in that theory, literally. Misty Knight from Luke Cage.
Yeah, but Power hasn't done that.
Valid.
Power has not done that.
You got to set up.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like it was, even Ghost and Angela, but that was a long-standing, relationship over the course of time. It wasn't, all right, we're gonna throw an undercover in here and she's gonna go bone her mark
immediately
20 minutes after meeting them. Yeah.
And went there to bone him.
Yeah. And then left.
Right. But then here's the wild part. She gets a little text message showing about when he got arrested, which to me, first of all, that proves she's not a cop, because she would have had the whole story.
She would have already known that information. Exactly.
Right. But somebody has texted her information on dude. So maybe
she reached out to somebody.
Maybe she was sitting in the diner and she did that. Like, I got to go to the bathroom. We didn't catch that scene. Yep. So then she came back the next night and she's like, breakfast for dinner for breakfast. And I got a little extra so we can have some breakfast for breakfast. Like, I'm staying the whole night this time. And he's like, yes, you had my heart at go. And I was like, damn. Play it. Play yourself. They show up in the lab. Maya owned it apparently, like outright. So meanwhile, all they got to do is just make sure that nobody knows that Maya's sleeping with I guess with the earthworms, because she ain't sleeping.
Yeah, not sleeping with the fishes.
You got Dexter sleeps people with the fishes, and Tom and them sleep people with earthworms.
The cops nowadays are getting too good at, going and searching the bottom of rivers and things like that for people's bodies. Getting too good at it. Before they weren't good at it, tie a cinder block to somebody's feet and let them go all the way down the bottom. They'll be down in there forever.
There you go.
Nowadays it's like they'll drag the river going looking for people nowadays.
Yeah, but then again, look at this. First of all, do you know how many carnivores there are hanging out in the park? They're gonna smell that joint from 6 miles away. There's a body sitting up under the dirt and drag them out. I guarantee you, nobody is lasting, even with the thickest construction bag. Nobody is lasting in that joint for more than a month. And a big bear is gonna be sitting back, rubbing his tummy, burping.
Oh, now if that does happen, a lot of evidence that maybe could have been on the body is going to be gone. You better do it in the summertime when the ground's warm. You get some decon. You do it in the wintertime, it's going to preserve. And
you'll be doing it forever. Breaking shovels and God damn it. Now, this is the part that made me nervous as hell. What is the doc doing, spending so much time in the bathroom?
I don't know.
Right. And so I'm like,
the problem.
That's the problem. I mean, is she doing the line in the bathroom? She had her own little like side piece on it and whatnot. And if we didn't see her in the next episode in the Coming Distractions, I'd be like, she was probably offing herself or doing something to get out of the deal or crawling out the bathroom window, whatever. I was like,
the funniest part was when she goes, I'm not a drug dealer. Tommy says, well, you know what? Lucky for you, I am.
I am. So meanwhile, your boy, Vic, is telling Pops, I'm going to bring Gloria to dinner. He's like, you're never going to do that. You got to catch the year. And so she's like, well, Pop set an extra plate. So he's like insisting on it, right? And she, him and Gloria outside in a drive-by with white guy. And it's like, brah, brah, brah. Now, here's the wild part for me, because she's a true Chicago sister. She had her gun out first. Vic didn't even get a chance to pull out, and she popped 4 off.
Hey, look, that's because Vic's soft as cotton candy. That's why he was shook up during that. I think Vic is soft.
He's like, while that's going on, Paulie and Walter Flynn are having a conversation. And their conversation is they talking about the Serbs and whatnot. Okay, and I'm like, why are they talking about the Serbs? And then, so next thing you know, old man Flynn comes like the Batman. I mean, first of all, you got to have Batman sleuth skills in order to find out where the Serbs be hanging out, unless you own the establishment. And then he just rolls up in there and starts popping caps and dudes. And it's like, nobody gets a chance to fire back. He gets one guy still alive. I want you to tell him that you come with my son. It's going to be the end of all of y'all. I'll burn this place to the ground with all of your rest of the country you ever loved. And I was like, wow, they throw that C word around, don't they? I didn't.
Hey, man.
I'm saying what he said.
That is a direct quote.
Matter of fact, I will take Shield, you tell him, not you. Notice the you. Bam. Pop the last guy. So then he's out of there. Now, are you ready? Here comes the theory. You ready?
Go ahead.
Flynn paid these Barrymans to kill Gloria.
Yeah.
But
yes.
they knew who Vic was, so they knew that they shouldn't be firing when Vic is there, and they fired anyway. And they fired probably because 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll make Flynn happy because we'll kill Gloria, but then we'll make Merkovic happy because we killed Vic.
Exactly.
But that didn't work out for them well, did it?
No, it didn't work out too well at all. But I definitely, because remember when he was talking to Vic about it, he tried to blame Tommy for it. So it was very interesting to me that he blamed Tommy in front of Vic and then went to go kill the Serbs. So I think he definitely paid them to knock off Gloria. And then they were like,
what the hell?
Either stupid or, opportunistic. Tried to take them both out.
And that didn't pay for dividends at all. All right, man. So we setting up with a nice fat episode from number 7. I think that's the second best number out there.
No, it's definitely the first best number out there. It's the best number. 7's the best number ever to be on the line.
5, the 5 is live. What you gonna say? 7 is heaven? Gotta have a rhyme. Gotta have a rhyme.
7 in his tail. We can't talk about what the 7's nickname is because Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated is a non-hazing organization, and we can't talk. Yeah, we do not haze. So 7s do not catch hell. Apparently, tails do not catch hell, but I heard that somewhere. Just saying.
Oh, but guess what though? Remember Hampton? Hampton pledges in reverse order.
Oh yeah.
The tail dog
would have been an ace.
The tail dog is really up front.
I know. I would have been an ace instead of a 7.
That would be funny as shit to me. All right, so look at the ace go on the court. So, yeah, I'm like, okay, whose ace is this? Oh, BK, never mind. All right. No, sorry, Beta Chi, got to get that straight. BK is UDC. All right, so.
Towson's like that too, LZ, Lambda Zeta. Lambda Zeta up at Towson, they do reverse lines too. So a good friend of mine, he's my height and he's an ace.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I went to a community college, so I don't have any opinion on this.
Don't worry about it, man. We'll get you when you grow up.
I want to be just like you guys.
I want to be a real boy. No Waldo next week, right?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Dylan, you recorded that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't want to be looking for Waldo. All right, so until next week, thanks, guys. E-Dot, Warhog, The Visa.
Click.
Go. Thanks, guys. This sounds very familiar, but not quite near as intelligently as was planned by your boy Tariq. And fill in the blank here. We got to edit this part. What's Tariq's guys?
Oh shit, Tariq and Braden.
All right, so you already know a Pinocchio pick's coming through, right? You already know.
Yeah,
there's several. One of them looks awful.